Hello and welcome. I'm NJ Yosh, and thank you for joining me for this non-canon episode of Bellwright. Today is April 23rd that I'm recording this, and the anniversary update just came out. Now, I was asked once before when I thought the spring update would come. I said I didn't think till next month. I was forgetting the fact that their anniversary of going into early access was coming up. So, yeah, it's not surprising that this dropped today. There are a couple episodes that I had already recorded that are going to be coming out over the next couple of days. So I did load into a save that should align about with where the end of last episode came out, and where the last episode, the episode that came out today, ended up. And just so nothing spoiled, I'm just going to kind of go in and take a look at a few of the new things. And this is not going to be part of the ongoing playthrough. So right off the bat, we get a tooltip pop up about gear presets, which is one of the things they added. This update was big. There are a ton of things added. I'm not even going to go through them all. It would just take too long. I encourage you, if you're interested, to take a look at the changelog. There's a lot to it. Couple of the things that we will touch on, obviously, gear presets. Access the gear presets tab from the population menu to manage your settlers' gear easily. Switch presets quickly to ensure everyone is ready for their task depending on their role. In the gear presets editor, choose from the predefined presets or create custom ones. Tailor gear setups for all your settlers to fit their roles perfectly, and enter the gear preset screen by interacting with the staging ground building. So we will take a look at that. Let me just see if anything else is going to pop up. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So real quick, let's just go through a couple of the more notable changes, at least in my mind. Animal husbandry, big one. You can now raise and breed various animals and collect resources from them. So that is a huge change to the way the game is played. Fishing, even if I don't actually interact with it, I'll probably play around with it a little bit, but even if I don't really engage with it, I believe that every survival game set in a livable environment should include fishing. That is such a staple to survival. It should be in there. Butchery, so we have potential of getting more for animals and handling animal kills a little bit differently, so that's exciting. The library with book storage and reading priorities, so you don't have to go to each person and make them read a book. You can set their priorities to books to read. It makes handling your villagers' skills a little bit easier. Squad rosters, the overhauled crafting UI with sorting, display of item stats, and other improvements. We'll take a look at that. Some new decorations. We're probably not going to get into that much. Merchants that travel between settlements and can be interacted with to trade, so we'll keep an eye out for them at some point. New achievements, new pets, a whole bunch of new animal behaviors, interactions, stats changes, new models, new animations for the villagers and for people, especially with death animations and working animations at various crafting stations. Different new behaviors for villagers and for your NPCs as far as eating, overhauled movement animations, overhauled jumping animations and vaulting logic. That'll be interesting to look into. I'm wondering how that affects the fence forts. We'll see. Made all farming actions provide XP instead of only planting seeds. That's very helpful. That's why I wasn't gaining any XP for farming. Improved sprinting and unsheathing animations. Increase the speed of construction hammer animations. It goes on and on. Increased the storage capacity of some of the barn and warehouse and the food cellars. Made some other changes to structure designs and use. Let's see. Along with a bunch of bug fixes and issues with interacting with things and stuff. New quests. Added over 25 new quests all across the Carvinia. Fixed a bunch of errors in some of the quests. Overhauled animal movement sounds, a whole bunch of changes to sounds and improvements to sounds. Change things in the game map, which is one thing I'm a little concerned with. I don't know if all of these changes are going to apply to existing games. We'll try to figure that out. Added a new bridge that leads to the swamps and footbridges across the swamp area. We'll be able to check that eventually. I'm not going to run all the way to the swamp in this video, but a new bridge to the Highlands region, new point of interest location in the swamp, new explorable cave location. That could be interesting. They reworked some of the swamp visuals, the seashore line, reworked some of the roads, added new decorative compositions. They added new rock and forest compositions, added new and improved existing waterfalls. We could try to take a look at that. And then made all roads in Carvana give the same speed boost as player built. Confirms that they do boost speed. Maybe they didn't boost it as much as player built roads before, but now that is the same. Improved visuals of various shrines. It just, like I said, there's a lot. This keeps going. This is multiple pages of improvements, fixes, added content, added and altered visuals. It goes on and on. So what we're just going to do, we're going to take a look. I know it looks like, I'm thinking probably the changes did apply since all of the trees here regrew.
Happy days, all thanks to you.
So that's a good sign. Oh, this was another thing, the mixing bucket. They changed how that looks because it is now responsible for more than just the fertilizer and cob. It also handles fishing bait, animal feed, apparently a variety of animal feed. I don't recall spices being in here. Let's go take a look at the crafting bench. Everything there looks... Oh, they added benches outside of the housing tents for them to sit on and read. So let's take a look at our workbench here. So this kind of looks the same to me. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really
Glad it's my home.
notice anything. This might be... Okay, this is new. I don't think this was here before. Only looking at the ones that you have the available resources for. I don't remember that. Could be wrong. But yeah, other than that, that kind of looks the same to me. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But we're also going to take a look here in the research desk. Actually, you know what? Let's go down to the advanced research desk. It's going to be handy having all this extra wood here. A little cheaty, but it's early access. What are you going to do? All right. So let's see if we can spot anything completely new. Bird coop, that's new. That allows chickens and other birds. Fishing camp, that's obviously new. This is so your villagers can fish. I don't think we have... Well, there's the lake not too far away, but I don't think we're going to worry about that in this this location. The houses, the tier 2 houses, now house 4 instead of 3. So that makes them a little bit more manageable. Not sure if that's the same. Feel like that might be a lower construction cost too. I know they tweaked construction costs of some things. Let's see. Don't see. They added some other village improvements that you can do in friendly villages, or well, liberated villages, to improve them. We're just looking around. I know they added peat. Yeah, they added peat to the requirements for building a furnace, to researching a furnace, sorry. let's see if we notice anything else. We'll go take a look at the staging ground in a moment. Nothing else jumping out at me. Oh, library. That's the building to research. So they do their own reading and increasing the skills through skill books. That's locked behind the house, so we'll have to research that at some point. Village herb garden. I think that was there. Livestock barn. Obviously, that's going to be new. That's above the bird's coop. Oh, and the butchery. So you can choose to carry animals back instead of just butchering them on the spot. Butchering them also does seem to give more than it used to. And animals have a weight because of that. And I think their weight kind of clues you into how much you're going to get from them. Yeah, there's the fishing stuff. So yeah, quite a lot new. They altered the apiary.
Ever notice how mushrooms
That
just appear out
was
of
in the
nowhere?
game before, but it has
like magic.
changed some. Just looking at the tier 3 stuff. I haven't played around too much all the way up in tier 3 in any of my other playthroughs, so I don't necessarily recognize new stuff up here. But it should be good. You were stuck on me. I was in your way. That's okay. So let's take a look. Well, we can look in here at the settlement icon. And it should be under population. So we can gear presets. Yeah, so right now we do have them all assigned to footmen. I mean, this was mostly in... Oh, there's something. Book priorities. I don't have a library, so I can't look at that. But I think this is mostly the same. It may be tweaked slightly, but I think it's mostly the same there. Let's go take a look at the staging ground. Okay, some more sort options here possibly. But overall, yeah, it's not... Maybe I'm misremembering, but it doesn't feel all that different than it was before. But that's okay. I could easily be misremembering it. Let's, we're not going to do too much more, but let's run over here. There was a waterfall over here, so let's see if we can spot it different. These fences do look a little different. They've got a little bit more decoration to them. Well, actually, let's do this. Yeah, so that feels a lot smoother. Yeah, that feels much better. We'll have to, we'll see at some point whether enemies also do that. I said before, this is not going to be canon. This is not going to be saved as part of the playthrough. I have 3 episodes, I believe, already recorded that are going to be coming up. So we won't see any of the new stuff in those 3 episodes. Starting on the episode on Sunday, I believe it will be. That will be recorded after this update. I haven't recorded it yet, but I will probably be doing that either tonight or tomorrow night, probably, most likely. Also, from your comments, seems like the longer episode that aired today, was preferred. So I probably will try to keep them at about an hour. Obviously not this episode. This is just kind of looking at some new stuff. And this is also not going to be, I don't know when this is going to be released. It's going to depend a little bit on when I get it edited and uploaded. But The most of the episodes will be more around that hour mark, depending on my work schedule. There may be days that I just don't have time to do a full hour episode, and it'll end up being a shorter one. But for the most part, they're going to be more like an hour. So yeah, that waterfall does look better. I mean, it's not the best I've seen in games, but it's nice. It's pretty. And it definitely has improved from the previous version. But all right, yeah, that's really all. I just wanted to touch on some of the big things. We will be interacting with some of the animal handling stuff and maybe the fishing stuff, maybe not. I haven't decided yet. That might be later on. But I do want to look into some of the animal handling stuff and start working on, like, maybe getting towards the library and that type of thing in the episodes I record that will air starting on Sunday. Like I said, that's going to be the first day. That'll be the first episode that was recorded after this update. But wait, is that a boar? No, that's the animal interactions, like I said, have changed. They react to you differently. And you know what? I'm sorry. I know I was saying kind of closing out, but one thing we can take a look at is the new animal harvesting. If we can find an animal, which there should be some wolves up here. So we'll take a look at that first. Those are bandits. That's not what we are looking for. There's a new rabbit model too. I think a rabbit ran across. I didn't really take a look at it though. So there's got to be something around here, right? Kind of off by this town over here. Drawing a blank. Bradford. No, I'm not quite there yet, but it did say the animation for when you shoot a bird down is a little different, as well as their behavior, I believe, has changed. I'm not going to try to shoot that bird down. Alright, we may... We'll run up to this travel sign here and fast travel back closer to our base where we know we can find some animals. They did stop... They did change some of the animal spawns. I think there are more boars now, but they wander around less. They stay where they're supposed to be. And I think they reduced their health, but increased their stamina. And I think it's a different model, too, for the boar. They made deer react differently. Like, how fast they get spooked by you changes depending on how fast you're walking. So that gives some interesting possibilities there for stalking them. All right, I think this is gonna be a wolf down here. Yep. Missed him. The wolf looks different too, I think. Okay, so yeah, we have skin carcass and we have pick up carcass. That's when we pick up the carcass. Alright. Doesn't take up a terribly big spot. While field skinning can yield a moss return, processing at the butchery unlocks far greater rewards. If you don't have a butchery yet, I believe this is... Is this all the same? Yeah, I think so. Swipe your mouse left, right, up, or down, and click left mouse button at the same time. Perform a directional attack, or right mouse button to perform a directional block. They may require a little bit more input from the player there, Hold left mouse button longer to perform a heavy attack. Observe your enemies carefully when they attack and block in the same direction. Remember that footwork and keeping distance are the key to success. There are plenty of weapon types. Swords, axes, bows, shields, and more. Advance your town and unlock technologies in order to be able to order them or craft them yourself. Okay, so we're going to skin this guy. 3 pelts, 1 large, 1 meat. Okay. Yeah, not too different. It's maybe a little bit more pelt than we would typically get, but we'll have to see what we get when we bring it back to the butchery once we get that unlocked. But anyway, thank you for joining me for this non-canon, don't know when this is getting uploaded episode. Just check out the update, and I do encourage you again to read the full patch notes if you're interested in the game, because again, I touched on a fraction of it. There is so much more in the patch notes. But thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you tomorrow for more episodes. Thank you.